Welcome to episode 40 of the Hellbound Podcast. Wow, my microphone didn't work and I butchered the 40th episode's intro. That's right. Why do I even bring this thing out? Seriously, wait. I'm Michael Chan. No, now the echo's off. I'm Michael Chan. Hi. I'm one of the co-hosts. I'm an actor.
Oh, that was.
And clearly, I don't know how to use technology. And I am joined by a very, very sexy bearded man with glasses. You are?
My name's Alex Blackburn, and I'm the founder of the Hellbound Horror Festival, which is in its second week of marketing now, and it's about to open on the 1st of August for submission. So please go to Film Freeway and check out Hellbound Horror Festival.
Yes, please submit to us. Submit.
I wanted to start the show off on not on a horror front, but as part of my 40th birthday, which is coming up, my wife got me this Ancestry DNA kit. So in about 6 to 8 weeks, I'm going to find out where I come from. And it's all going to be Northern Europe. I can't imagine it's anywhere else, but yeah, that's going to be fast. I'm starting my family tree as well.
Does it also have a... First of all, I'm congrats. You are officially younger than me. I never knew that.
Yeah. Why do I look way older?
But also congrats on reaching the point in your life where you can no longer say that you're just a boy, and everyone expects that you act like a man.
Yeah. As my wife calls me, I'm a big man baby.
Think about it.
So.
You have a 4. You have a 4 at the beginning of your age. That, like, everyone just expects you to be an adult, and that you'll be responsible and professional.
Yeah.
And there's like nothing fun about you anymore. That's the expectation.
Cheers, Michael. That's
put
me in a great mood.
And I won't say for what. I went to a barbecue for dudes and for a certain organization, name of which I will not name. And like I was the youngest one there, and I'm in my 40s as well, but I was the youngest one there. And oh my God, I was so bored of the conversations. Like, no offense to any of them, but I don't want to talk about the economy, politics. What do you do for a living? for 3.5 hours. I mean, I can talk a little bit about it.
Yeah,
I'm happy to do that, but like, there's nothing else.
Yeah,
I'm like, guys, just because there's a 4 or a 5 in front of your age doesn't mean you can also talk about fun things.
Yeah.
I tried to bring up, like, with one guy, like, what was the last movie you saw? I was like, I don't know. Okay, thanks for the conversation. Let's move on.
Yeah. It
was so awkward that, like, I had to be the one that there was a magician there who was trying to go table to table, but nobody would even look at him. And I noticed. I was like, you know what? I was like, hey, dude, get over here. Show me a trick. And he was so happy. Because he actually had something to do.
That's amazing. That sounds grim. That sounds like the worst event to go to.
I'm just saying that now that you have this 4, the expectation is that we're adults. But you know me. I'm not an adult.
not by your TikTok.
I'm like a 12-year-old. Exactly. I'm a 12-year-old in a 41-year-old's body, and I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think I'm age fluid, if that makes any sense, because I act like a 60-year-old sometimes, especially when I'm trying to chase at work, but then I'm a teenager or a 12-year-old when I'm doing anything else. Like I'm fawning over. This is gonna sound so boring, but I'm fawning over how clean my desk is and my setup. Oh, that's so fantastic. But then I'll be a complete idiot dancing in the living room with my wife later on, dancing to really stupid things. so
Yeah.
so yeah, it's that
I get excited over a new vacuum cleaner. That's the adult part of
yeah.
me. It's like, oh yeah, this Dyson. Oh man, that suction power. Oh baby.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, suck up all that dust.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh my, I that's so true. It's so true. Oh my god.
You know, our conversation right now is just absolute horror for
Yeah,
some people.
yeah. Well, I say to those people,
Oh my god. Oh my god, you just did the British middle finger.
do you know where that stems from? The two fingers, where it comes from?
No, actually. Is it anything to do with sticking it up someone's nose or some
No,
other
it's to do
hole?
with the rivalry and
Oh.
through warfare between the British and the French, and basically whenever I think it was this is going to sound like such a boring thing to talk about, but I think it's Napoleonic Wars in around 1815. If any French soldiers captured British archers, they would cut off their fingers they'd use to pull the bows back on their bow and arrow.
Oh no.
And so if they were winning in a battle, or if the British were winning in a battle against the French, Napoleon's men, they would mock them by doing this. You can't take my fingers. So that's where that comes from.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that, and that is an amazing thing to learn. Thank you so
That's
much
all
for the
right, yeah.
education. That's right, listeners. Come here for educating. I don't know.
Yeah, Dyson talk. Dyson.
We are now an educational show.
Dyson Hoovers, a spot of British history.
Let's move on to our actual topic that we discussed that we would be talking about, but it's like probably way deep into the episode and we still haven't. It's the movie Night House.
I love this film. I absolutely. It's Rebecca Hall, isn't it? Let's just triple check that. I'll cut this out, but I'm going to check that. Yeah, Rebecca Hall has been in some great horrors recently, and she's just a fantastic actress. I think it's The Orphan she's in as well. But this is a brilliant film, and it has a horror element in it, the kind of ghostly spectre that I want to use in my short film in terms of how that's visualized. So I think this is a brilliant film. I'll just read out the synopsis. Reeling from the unexpected death of her husband, Beth is left alone at the lakeside home he built for her. She tries her best to keep it together, but disturbing visions of a presence in the house calls to her, beckoning Beth with a ghostly allure. So yeah, it's. What did you think overall?
I found myself really intrigued by this film.
Yeah.
Pacing wasn't fast. There wasn't like a lot of obvious like things like jump scares and all that. Instead, the film loved to mess with your mind.
Yeah.
And very artistically mess with the characters in within the story. Like there was a lot of, I don't want to give it away, but just some of the shots they got to try to make you think stuff is happening, and then they transition and it's you're not sure.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. I feel like this is a very interesting case of a film that very well could either be a horror film or a film about mental illness.
Absolutely. And I think that's a good.
If you think about it,
I think it's a great sign of a movie that can
or
actually
both,
do.
or both.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that kind of ambiguity, I love, because it kept me guessing.
Yeah.
It kept me going. Wait, is this? No, yeah, no, yeah. You know, there was a lot of that. It was like, and I like I couldn't. A lot of it, like, there are so many films now that you can kind of figure the film out pretty early.
Yeah,
right.
absolutely,
you know what's going to happen. But this one, I'm just like, okay, I can't really sort this one out, and I like that.
Yeah.
I like that I can't figure it out.
Is that because you're being treated as an adult watching this? They're not just spoon feeding you what's going to happen. It's to be able to do that and to
Yeah, I feel like this was not made to appease Middle America. No offense, Middle America.
that's so true. It
um,
is true. Um,
I generally don't like saying that, but it's the truth. It's that some execs, some producers seem to have this idea that Middle America is dumb,
yeah,
and so they make films with stuff in it that would make it easier for people to understand.
yeah,
And I don't like that. I don't like two things. I don't like dumbing down a film, but I also don't like the stereotype of Middle America because they're not stupid. But anyways,
yeah.
regardless, that's what this film doesn't do. That this film, I feel like it stayed true to its core
Yeah.
and didn't give things away easily.
No, absolutely not. No.
Like it worked. It worked for it. Like it worked for our attention and it worked for our enjoyment.
Yeah.
And it worked, and by doing the work, the film worked. I was very intrigued.
And this is from David Bruckner, who's currently on. Do you know what David Bruckner's currently directing and it's in post production?
No.
It's the new
What is he?
Hellraiser adaptation. So it's a complete
Ah,
brand
there you
new,
go.
yeah,
That's where I've heard the name.
brand new Hellraiser with a. I think it's got a female Cenobite, so that's going to be very very interesting. And I'm quite happy
Oh,
about.
new Pinhead?
Yeah, new Pinhead, new Cenobite, yeah. So that's
Well,
going to be
I mean,
interesting.
Pinhead was technically supposed to be genderless. So really,
Yeah.
I've heard about that. Some people are complaining.
Let's
I'm
see
like,
what the
guys,
see
come
what it
on.
is. Let's see what it's like. You know, you like people that complain about films and they've not seen them. That's kind of the worst kind of fan, really. You can't. I don't think you can justify complaining about something until you've seen it or heard it. You know, there's no way to kind of quantify what their opinion is until it's
But
released.
isn't that the thing with social media nowadays? That was
Yeah,
something Kevin Smith alluded
yeah,
in one of his podcasts where he said like, way back when the internet wasn't a thing or was just in its infancy, films were created with the vision of the filmmakers, usually without too much meddling from the studios, and they would have test audiences, and that's where the meddling starts because the test audiences would say, yeah, I like this, I don't like that, and then changes will start getting made. Mind you, test audience is only one sampling of the population, so you're really gearing it towards those people.
yeah,
That's the drawback. But nowadays, with the internet, fans seem to be just so not even fans, just people. People are so involved since day one with their opinions that studios sometimes could become afraid to take any kind of risks or to stick with the vision that the filmmakers have.
yeah,
And so you just end up catering to as many people as possible. And what we end up seeing is just sometimes what could have been a stroke of genius
yeah.
ends up being butchered to the point of just being generic.
Absolutely.
And I'm just glad to say that the Night House, I think, didn't get butchered. It just feels authentic. It feels like this is what they wanted to show.
I
And
I'd agree with that because it was only a relatively I'd say low budget. $15.5 million is not a low budget, a small budget by our standards. But
low, but low compared to most Hollywood stuff.
so you'd like to think that it is effectively the cut of the film, and it's not meddled with too much. I think normally you'd see an ending that,
Mm-hmm.
or a section of the film that jars completely. That's why in a previous episode last week when we talked about a certain character's potential death and that character doesn't die in the end of the season, I feel as though they're not meddling, but they switched it around what they were going to do, and it's great to see in a film like this. It feels consistent throughout, so you feel there's no natural tweak.
It is quite consistent.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think it's a
And they were able to keep up the mystique of it.
Yeah. Um,
That's a feat. Sometimes you lose it partway through, you know,
yeah.
or you don't stick the landing.
Yeah. Don't stick the landing.
But
Absolutely.
the night house, it served its purpose.
Absolutely. Briefly, before we go, I think I'm going to briefly talk about a film called Demon Seed. I've kind of alluded to.
Demon Seed.
Demon Seed is a Julie Christie film. I think it's 76 or it's definitely mid 70s, about a artificial
Mm-hmm.
intelligence. It's this first artificial intelligence computer, and how it wants to learn about mankind, and it takes over this automated house where the Julie Christie character lives, and she's the wife of the founder of this AI, and the AI computer system, I'm pretty sure is voiced by Robert Vaughn from The Man from U.N.C.L.E. and Magnificent Seven, and it's I don't want to spoil it too much, but it's about what it takes to become human and the lengths this system will go to as an AI to continue its own existence. It's really dark. It's really really dark, and some of the the mechanics of the film are a bit jarring and a bit dated. But I would see this. I'd say there's going to be a remake coming soon at some point. But it's I'd highly recommend Demon Seed starring Julie Christie. It's a terrifying,
All right.
terrifying idea of what could happen. It really, really is.
The last thing I want to brush on, because I don't want to spend a whole episode on this, is the Attack on Titan anime. Um, it has been one of my favorite animes for quite a while now. I admittedly have not read the manga, so
Okay.
I'm just talking about the anime. Um, if any of you don't know what Attack on Titan is, the basic premise is there is so these giant, like massive, tall, naked, human-looking monsters have attacked humanity, and they have done so much damage that humanity basically built a walled city, and the last of humanity lives inside the walls,
Yeah.
and that's it. And there's been 100 years of peace until one day a titan shows up, and it's taller than the wall,
Oh wow.
and the wall gets breached, and that's where the story begins. And the humans have an army that have like this gear that allows them to swing around like Spider-Man,
Yeah.
and they use swords to cut the vulnerable point of a titan in order to kill them. But titans are very hard to defeat, and they eat people. So I would always tell people, like, think of titans, these human-looking monsters, giants, as zombies, but like giants. It's like a combo kaiju zombie,
Oh wow. Yeah. I'm
right?
just looking some
And it's
images. Wow.
terrifying. It's because these titans have, even though they look kind of human, they're also, there's like an uncanny valley aspect to them where there's something off about all of their faces. They have this creepy smile. Their eyes are dead, and they run and walk and move in very odd ways, and there's different heights of them, so it's so strange. But there's one commonality, is that they, if you're there, they're gonna chase you down and eat you. That's just the way it is. Now that it started off to me as a horror, like this thing was definitely for me a horror anime.
Yeah.
Season 1 and season 2 were very horror focused. Now I understand when shows don't want to remain the same because they'll get stale, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So season 3 started to go into the internal politics of the human civilization. Unfortunately, and I'm going to say this right now, that trend in season 3 where they got into the politics did not stop. And season 4, which is where I'm at now, and I do believe it's the final season, has turned from a horror to essentially uh, just a very, very political Game of Thrones with a bunch of monsters just occasionally showing up here and there, plus certain monsters being used as weapons. And that's it. The monsters are now just weapons. They're not. They're honestly just not even all that important. What all they care, like the whole thing is just about humans and how we all suck because all we do is fight each other. And
Yeah.
like like just people change. There are people fighting each other now, and there's like two sides, and like everyone is like every episode, multiple people change sides,
Yeah.
and there's always betrayal, more betrayal, and more betrayal. It's like twist and more twist, and like I hate you, now I like you. I mean, not really, but we have to work together.
Yeah.
Now I hate you again. Oh no, I want to kill you. No, no, no. Now, we have to stick together. We don't. Oh no, I've actually been plotting against you. No, just kidding. I wasn't plotting against. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's where we're at. And I'm like, how do you take something that is so, just just such an amazing horror thing,
Yeah.
and just turn it, like, just butcher it to this point? I just don't understand.
Are you still watching it because
There are ways
you're a
to maintain the
completionist?
horror element.
Are you still watching
Pardon
it?
me?
Are you still watching it just to finish it now? Are you getting enough from it?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm annoyed.
Yeah, that's how I feel
Oh,
about it.
and the final thing I want to talk about is the new Resident Evil TV show on Netflix.
I've not heard good
Guys,
things.
if Netflix is trying to save itself, season 4 of Stranger Things may have brought people back, but Resident Evil certainly is turning people away. Jess and I made it to episode 6. She cannot continue. She's quitting. And I am continuing because I'm a completionist. And also, I can't really complain too much about it if I don't finish.
Yeah.
But episode 6 upset me, and not in a good way. I don't mean like, oh, that's gory. Or no, no, no. The writing choices
God.
were so manipulative, and the heroes, the supposed heroes or main character, whatever, of the show are so annoying and make such horrific decisions that I can't root for them. I have literally nobody to root for in this show, and I I don't understand how we're at the third live action iteration of Resident Evil, and they still can't really get it right. Now, I loved the original, the first and the second Mila Jovovich
Yeah.
films,
Yeah.
knowing full well it's not exactly accurate, right? But it was, for me, it was fun. Resident Evil 1, along with Dawn of the Dead, the remake, introduced me to zombies and made me a fan. I didn't even know what Resident Evil was until I watched that film. And that includes the games. I knew the games existed. I just didn't know. I didn't know what zombies were
Yeah.
until I watched that and Dawn
Oh
of the Dead.
wow. Okay.
Uh, and um, yeah, and then I fall in love and I've educated myself, blah blah blah. But the whole point is, like, I now know, obviously, because I've played the games and everything, that the original Mila Jovovich films were not exactly accurate. Then they did the remake movie recently, and that wasn't exactly all that good. And this show, this show is the worst iteration of live action Resident Evil. It is that bad to me. I was trying so hard to love it. I was trying so hard to justify, because they chose, instead of following adults, really. I mean, there is an adult. There's time jumps back and forth. This goes forward, backwards, forward, backwards.
Yeah.
But it's a teen. It's like an angsty teen drama. That's what they chose to do with it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to give it a chance. Let's just come at it from a different perspective. Nope. The whole thing is annoying.
Oh, I've not heard one good thing about this show. All the reviews that the people I kind of go to, and good friends like yourself, they've all said the same thing pretty much. There's just that bad.
I will give it one positive point. Guy who plays Wesker,
Yeah.
I forgot his name, the actor's name, but I've seen him in a ton of stuff. I love him. His acting is on point.
That's just.
And And so far, up to episode 6, he's the only consistent character.
Oh God.
There you go.
That's
there
so
you go.
disappointing.
I'll give it one positive remark. And that's it.
Is it Lance Reddick?
Yes, thank you.
He's awesome. He's awesome. Oh, that's such a shame that it's so bad. Oh, that's awful. That's awful.
They should have just made him the lead and followed his story. Seriously. To give us more background on Wesker properly.
Well, after following that, I'm going to check the show out eventually. I've got too much. I've got too much of an awful other series to watch, but I will definitely watch that purely to see what everyone's kind of talking about, and it's not great for Netflix if they're pulling, a popular property into the fire. So.
Yeah, okay. So I know we're gonna end the episode here, but I will say that most likely once I do finish the show, I'll say like a couple more things in a future episode.
Absolutely, yeah.
Of Hellbound, just to kind of cap it off for you all to know what I think once I'm done.
Yeah. Well,
but just know my wife has quit, so that's where we're at.
Well, thanks for everyone, and thank you, Michael, for joining me again, or joining for us kind of hooking up to record another episode of the Hellbound podcast. And yeah, you'll for everyone that listens each week, you'll see a few more interviews with filmmakers as the Hellbound Horror Festival continues. So they'll appear on the same feed, but they might appear on different days depending on how many there are for that. But yeah, thanks again, Michael. And if you want to join us,
thanks, Alan.
If you want to join us on social media, it's at the Hellbound Podcast on Instagram, and you can find us on hellboundhorrorfestival.com. That's our website. And what are you kind of? Where can people?
We have merch.
We have merch. We have merch for the festival, merch for our podcast first and foremost, and we might have one or two new designs with doppelgangers on coming soon as well. So that's in the
what
pipeline.
Are you talking about?
Oh well, the Michael Chan merch. I'll tell you one.
Wow.
I'll tell you one little secret thing I'm going to do. There's going to be a cross.
How's it a secret if you're telling me?
Because only I had this idea. This is an idea for me of two of my friends that are in Star Trek canon characters now. So yourself and oh my god, Ian Rayburn are going to feature on a piece of art that I'm going to commission, where your two characters meet in the Star Trek universe. So that's going to happen.
Okay, that would be cool.
But yeah, but that's not a surprise anymore. But there you go.
I'm excited. Thank you.
That's good.
Oh my god, you are too kind. But yes, I'm excited to see all the new merch. But guys, I mean, if you want my face on a shirt, as well as Alex's sexier face on a shirt, and together we're just too much sexy. Buy our Hellbound Podcast merch. It's just too much sexy, really.
And hopefully Michael will be able to talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So, if you like what you're listening to, please give us a positive review. 5 stars, 10 out of 10, or whatever system there is on your preferred podcast app. Just give us a good review, and that'll help us get featured. And the more we get featured, the more listeners we'll get, and the more we can do for you. Also, please subscribe or follow us on your podcast app. That helps us a lot as well. And if you want to be featured on our social media, again, on Instagram is at the Hellbound Podcast. So if you have art, if you have, I don't know, makeup, cosplay, whatever, just send us a private message, and now we'll talk. All right, that's the end of our 40th episode. Hopefully I don't butcher this exit. Here we go. Harness the darkness!